What's up, everyone? It's Thursday, August 13th, and we are live at 5. I'm Paul Wontorek.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And we're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
There she is.
Hey, you guys. Oh my God, you guys. We have one of our favorite Broadway stars here today. Beth, who is in the green room?
In the green room, we have superstar Orfeh.
Yes.
The singular.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Sensation, yes.
I can't wait to hear what she's up to. I also want to say that this is our last episode of Live at 5 for August. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back on Tuesday, September 8th. Mm-hmm. So this is we had to get a big name to blow this out. Tony nominee.
That's right. That's right.
We'll get to her. She can wait. Let's do some news.
Well, this is exciting news for those of you who watch The Crown on Netflix. Do you watch The Crown on Netflix, Paul?
I'm like a season behind.
I'm behind also, but now I'm going to get back to it because two-time Tony winner Jonathan Pryce has been tapped to play Prince Philip. There's Jonathan Pryce, and you know him from a zillion things, especially his two Tony Awards for comedians and for, of course, Miss Saigon, and his Olivier Award for Hamlet. And he will be playing Prince Philip opposite Imelda Staunton. So many theater people who will be playing.
Wait, what? Who is he playing?
Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like Beth. I'm like half into the royal family, but I know who that is. Okay. Go
For
ahead.
those of you who need a little brush up, Queen Elizabeth's husband. There you go.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Now, Tobias Menzies has been playing the part. Before that, Matt Smith played the part. That's where I am. I'm still in the Matt Smith. I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah.
But now he will be playing opposite Imelda Staunton, who is a huge star in the West End, and Leslie Manville. And it's just a wonderful. We're getting to the 2000s. That's where we're going. So this will be season 5 and 6, and the 6th season is the final season of The Crown.
I'm really happy because they were only supposed to do they extended it. They're actually taking it farther into the story than we knew they would. But yeah.
That's right. 13 Emmy nominations for them. So pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, we found out about another concert happening online. It's called Amplified, and this is for Broadway for Racial Justice. This is happening next Friday, the 21st at 8 p.m. on YouTube. And we found out that it'll be Haley Kilgore, Andre Malcolm, Ariane Meneses, Jesse Mueller, Saleha Pfeiffer, Joey Rosario, Colin Allen, Skylar Aston, Shoshana Bean, Brittany Campbell, Kayla Dayan, Deontay Goodman, Sapphire Hart, Morgan James, and Empty Royalty. I like that name, Empty Royalty. Who's Empty Royalty? I need to meet Empty Royalty. Weren't we just talking about Empty Royalty a minute ago?
That's rude. That's very rude. That's amazing.
This is to raise money for Broadway for Racial Justice's brand new emergency assistance fund, which launches on September 1st. We've talked about that before. So that's an exciting event.
Okay. I just want to say that Andrew Lloyd Webber will do anything to have live theater come back, including, as we've already talked about, he has done some reopening tests at the London Palladium, which he owns. Right. And he, of course, we've been talking about Jesus Christ Superstar at Regent's Park in London and how they're working that. And now Lord Lloyd Webber is giving his own body up for research because he has volunteered to be part of an experimental COVID-19 vaccine trial.
Wow.
I'm so impressed with him. Aren't you? He's been so active on social media. Always. Of course, you've always, back in the day, you've always been. But he's been so active in helping young people and keeping people hopeful. And now he is just put up his hand and said he would be part of this trial. I don't have details on that, but I hope he's okay. I hope everything goes well. The man is 73 years old. And we'll see what happens with Andrew Lloyd Webber and the coronavirus vaccine, which, it could take a while, but they need people to try it out.
We like to call him Dad. It's a long story. Finally, Bette Midler, Tony winner Bette Midler. Now I don't remember anything, but there was a duck. Show the duck. Show the duck. Okay. So there was
this story is a journey. Yes.
This is a real thing. There was a real life rainbow colored mandarin duck that appeared in Central Park in 2018. And apparently it is native of Asia. So it's not supposed to be in New York City. And it was spotted, and then it was disappeared, and then it was spotted again. And anyway, so it's this big mystery how the duck got there. And so Bette Midler, she likes nature and ducks and Central Park and beautifying New York City and all that stuff. Right. And children and children's books. She wrote a children's book. It's a picture book called The Tale of the Mandarin Duck, a Modern Fable. Random House Books for Young Readers is bringing it out on February 16th, 2021. So she still has time to write it, honestly. And it features photographs by Machido Kakatani and illustrations by Joanna Aviles. And it's inspired by the duck. And apparently some refer to the duck as Mandarin Patinkin.
But I don't think that's
Mandy Patinkin. That's Mandy Patinkin. Mandarin Patinkin. I don't. Okay.
This is a lot going on here.
Did you know about this duck? You read the New York Times.
I do. And Machiko Kakutani used to be, or maybe still is, was a book critic. I don't know. It's a lot of information. We're going to let you process it. I just want Orfeh to come on. Can we just get to Orfeh, please?
Yes, and if there's a musical about the Mandarin duck, maybe
that's right.
Orfeh can voice. Maybe if they make like a movie, she can voice the Mandarin duck because she loves animals. I don't know how she feels about ducks. We're gonna find out. Thank you so much, Beth. Hey, Caitlin, will you please introduce our guest properly?
Yes, I'm gonna say one more thing about the duck.
Oh, okay.
It's also known as the hot duck on social media. People call it hot.
Sexy.
Duck. It's a hot duck.
Just bring Orfeh out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you all about Orfeh. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today for Live at 5 Home Edition, live right here on Facebook and YouTube. And as you all know, we have the incredible Tony nominee Orfeh here with us today. You guys know her, of course. She earned a Tony nomination for being in Legally Blonde. She was most recently on stage in Pretty Woman. She's a singer. She loves animals. She does it all. She just does it all. You guys can follow her on social at Orfeh on Instagram or on Twitter at Orfeh_official. Both places, great places to be. Leave all of your questions in the comments below. And please welcome Orfeh and Paul.
There she is. There she is. How do we feel about ducks?
I love ducks. I won't eat a duck. And I knew a kid I grew up with had a pet duck named Patty the Duck. So I'm quite fond of ducks.
Wait, did you say Patty?
Patty the Duck.
So we have this one's Mandy, and that one's Patty, Mandy and Patty the Duck.
Yeah,
so,
I didn't make that connection, but I'm so glad you did.
Evita. That's
Evita.
That's
Evita the Duck.
I would love to see you play Evita. Put that on the list.
Yeah, that happened.
Orfeh, how are you? Orfeh
Hi.
Carl. Some people
Hello.
call you Orfeh Carl.
When they do, I don't know why they do, but okay.
Does your mail come to Orfeh Carl?
No, my mail always and exclusively has, for the better part of over half my life, just come to Orfeh.
That's amazing. I love
You can just pay me to Orfeh. I can just cut you a check from Orfeh.
How the heck are you?
I'm okay. How the heck is anybody? Why am I yelling? Here we go. How the hell is anybody?
You know what? I actually thought of you as a really ahead of the game here with this world we're in right now, because I have been fortunate enough to sit next to you at a Broadway show. And what I can tell anyone about you is that if you heard a sneeze or a cough anywhere in the vicinity, like within 10 rows, you would like duck for cover. You do not like the old world. People were very loose with their germs before COVID-19, weren't they? So you must actually be relieved that people are sort of keeping to themselves a bit.
Well,
correct?
here's the thing. I get a lot of texts and calls from former cast members from Broadway shows who go, "Wow, you were right all along," because
Yes.
I got read and dragged so much for wearing sunglasses and gloves at the stage door at 11:30 at night, and they thought, "Oh, she just wants to pretend she's like super famous and walk around with the bodyguard through the crowd and just like act like she's fierce." No. People are going to spit in my eye. People are going to touch me. People are going to sweat on me and be, nervous and excited around me. And I can't get sick. It's also refreshing to know that people have finally stopped looking at me like I'm crazy on airplanes. Because how long have I been wearing masks on airplanes?
Oh, you do the masks on airplanes too. Wow,
always have. Listen, to be fair, I'm not the only singer who has been wearing masks on transatlantic flights for the better part of their lives. I always have, but people always look at me and or did and felt sorry for me because clearly I was probably, in their head, not well. But that wasn't it. It's like, how are you going to catch something on a plane when people are just going, pew, pew, and you're like, dude, you're over the age of 10. You have to cover your mouth and cover your face. And they don't. People don't.
Yeah.
I'm praying that they will from now on. And, I ride the subway a lot. And I was never, even if it was 90 degrees, I had a scarf wrapped around my face on the subway and wearing gloves. So suddenly I'm not the kooky lady with the face coverings of the gloves on.
No, it's going to be interesting to see how it changes society in a big way. And especially theater people are very touchy-feely, aren't they? There's a lot of hugging, a lot of loose hugging, and there's a lot of that.
Well, you're also in proximity with people on stage doing big mega dance numbers, and people are wont to sweat, so,
right. Yeah. But I will also say that you did always go through all those precautions, but you also never missed shows. So,
well, because I went through all those precautions.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Schuler Hensley and I had a routine at the Great American Trailer Park.
Oh my God! Orfeh, stop it! I love that show.
No, it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite things I've ever. Well, I've said this to you. I think my favorite, when people ask me, and I know they want me to say Legally Blonde, and obviously, yes, that's been the most of anything I've ever been.
Let's remind everyone. Let's throw a photo up. Let's get. Look, it's Andy Carl.
Look at Andy Carl. Andy Carl. Look at Andy Carl.
Look at that, and he still wears that for you every night. It's so sweet. It's so sweet of him.
It's hanging in our closet.
I'm sure it is. I believe that. So so people always say Legally Blonde. You actually had a great time doing Trailer Park.
I know. They always say, what was your favorite? What was your best? What was your this, that, and the other thing? And most of the things that I have a strong connection to and makes my heart sing every time I think about it. Trailer Park, Love Janice, and Me and Mrs. Jones, which was way off Broadway. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
that was called Philadelphia.
Yeah, at the now defunct Prince Music Theater. But I wish, with all of the random, grainy, horrible bootlegs that I'm sure people are a little bit more grateful exist nowadays, I wish there were more footwear of shoes of Love Janice. There are none of Love Janice. Best thing I've ever gotten to be a part of. Then there's a lot of Trailer Park footage, and I've been happily putting that up lately on my Instagram because people need to see it. People need to hear those songs and those singers singing those songs.
Yes, and there's a cast album. There's a cast album, thankfully.
Yes, thank God there is.
Now, who is chiming right now? Who do we hear in the background?
That's Mimsy, who gets very jealous anytime I'm speaking to anyone on any device but him.
Okay, well, Henry does that to me when I'm on FaceTime at night, when I'm doing my FaceTime calls.
It's amazing. If you get a text and it's not on silent, he gets crazy. It's bizarre. Yeah, It really is.
So set it up a little bit. Where are you? Where are you spending your quarantine right now?
Well, we were in Manhattan for 85% of quarantine, and it's still, obviously there's some version of that going on. But at some point we realized we had wholly and completely neglected our Miami spot that we've been to maybe 14 minutes out of the last 19 years of our marriage. Right. And we thought, well, let's go there. And then we got here and suddenly it was the epicenter of the entire, Corona debacle. Right. Not specifically in our little neighborhood, but, we just realized it's been something we've never been able to do. And what better time to be able to do something like that and tend to the apartment that's been basically, not being tended to for a really long time. So, we have not been here very long. We will probably not stay for very long, but we're really happy to be here.
How many animals are with you?
Many.
I love that.
No ducks, though. No ducks.
No ducks. No ducks. So now I have a question for you. You are a real New Yorker. You're a real New York girl.
Yes.
You grew up in New York.
Yes.
On the streets of New York.
On the streets of Murray Hill and the Lower East Side.
Tough New York chick.
Yeah.
What is it like seeing what's happening with New York? I mean, it's very interesting. New York has it emptied out, and it's a lot of people are moving out of New York, and Broadway. Obviously, we're all sort of waiting to figure things out. What's it like for you?
I got to tell you, because I am such a staunch, true OG native, it breaks my heart into a billion pieces. So I don't really allow myself to think about it too much because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole of absolute and complete devastation. Because, I think about it a lot. I think about what it was for me and to me, and that a lot of those neighborhoods where we used to hang out and, that they're boarded up or that they've been just wrecked and ravaged, or that, some of the places that I went to every day of my life, basically the restaurants that were open till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, like Lucky Strike, are no more. You know what I mean? And that people are out of work, and that it also highly depresses me that people are leaving in a mass exodus kind of, way. I think those people are going to regret it in a couple of years. I'm praying that they come to their senses and, they abandon something really quickly. And I get it. You know what I mean? I had to go and check on some stuff in Miami and deal with some stuff, but I'm not the type of person to give up on something or some place or some, existence that quickly. So I understand for people that can't afford it. I fully understand, because it gets harder and harder every year, as you well know. But to just up and leave and say, well, this is over. New York is over. I don't think New York is ever going to be over. And again, if I allow myself to really spiral down that path, it deeply saddens me. So I'm hopeful. I think everything could have been handled a little bit better by the powers that be, and it wasn't. I suddenly think, I won't say, but it's very sad to me that people are just like, it's over. And yes, a lot of things are going to be different, and a lot of things are going to have to change, but it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I'm sure it's heartbreaking for non-native New Yorkers who have, been there long enough to be sad about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if New York somehow, and I know you can relate to this, there's been a lot of talk about how expensive New York has become, and how it hasn't really been able to support artists, right? I know the New York that I moved to 30 years ago this next week, 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's my New York anniversary.
Oh my God.
Was a little different. Like you could sort of struggle a little easier. So it'll be interesting to see if New York financially turns into something else after.
I hope it goes back a little bit towards that, because it's certainly different than when I was a kid. You know what I mean? It is impossible for someone to come and be like, oh, good, I'm going to live here, and I'm going to, it has become that way. And that's the only part I understand about the mass exodus, but just to be like, this is crap now, that's not cool to me. You know what I mean?
So a year ago this week, you were finishing your run in Pretty Woman. I realize this is your week.
Yeah, lots of anniversaries coming up.
Oh, there you go. There's Kit DeLuca.
Kit DeLuca.
Always with a bottle.
Always.
There she is. Gotta love it. Gotta love Kit DeLuca.
Always, Kit was drunk.
What is the Orfeh type? What is the typecast of Orfeh based on? Well, it's interesting. You talked about some of the things that I was lucky enough to see those other roles you talked about,
right?
But the Broadway, right? So we've had if you look at Paulette and Kit, I don't know about Saturday Night Fever. She was a little more. Annette was a little more sympathetic. I don't know. They're all sympathetic, but those are party girls.
Well, first of all, apparently I can only play a character that ends in ETT.
My dog's going to start barking because the truck just pulled up.
Okay, see. Apparently I can only be in roles that end in ETT or IT.
ETT?
Annette, Kit, Paulette.
Oh, my God. Oh, right. Yeah, the Ets. The Ets. Hold on.
The Ets. The Its and the Ets. Henry, hush.
I know. He's just...
Even
we'll just bring him in and say hi. He can say hi.
Hi! Oh! Hi, Henry. He's very upset. He's very upset.
Lover of dogs.
Lover of
animals. Famed lover of animals.
Famed lover of animals.
Yeah, he's going to go after the FedEx guy. Okay. Anyway, sorry for that distraction.
Oh, please.
You never know when a car's going to pull up.
I know.
But yeah, that was a nice year-long run. I mean, and I was thinking about Pretty Woman because it's really interesting to think about what Broadway will come out of this, right? Broadway, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of product is on Broadway, what kind of pricing is going to happen with Broadway, and what audiences are really going to want to see. Because I was thinking about Pretty Woman because it was one of those shows that audiences really wanted it. That was like, a lot of theater snobs were kind of like, we don't need a musical.
Don't they feel stupid now? Ooh, the musical about the hookers wearing 50 pounds of leather. What a scandal. Don't you wish Pretty Frickin' Woman was on Broadway now? Don't you wish there was any musicals on Broadway now?
Yeah, but there's something about it was like a comfort food show. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you should always you should cater to the fans. You should cater to the fans. You shouldn't worry about what a bunch of theater snobs are going to go. Oh, it's a hooker musical. Oh my God, how inappropriate! And then at the same time, you had the theater snobs and the fans that worshipped Groundhog Day the musical. And where did that go? That ran a good 6 months less than Pretty Woman, which Andy's the first person to say. It's this show between Rocky and Groundhog Day. This has been the longest run I've had in a long time. So, I hope that at least changes where it doesn't matter what a critic says about something. It doesn't matter what, 5 people who have their heads firmly planted somewhere there shouldn't be have to say about a musical. And I hope they realize what it is that the public is hungry for and the public wants to see, because that's who I'm playing it for. A Tony nomination and Olivier is wonderful. It's glorious because you get to attach that to your introduction for the rest of your life. But at the same point, you're doing it for the people. You're doing it for the people that are coming out of pocket and plunking that money down, which, by the way, gets more expensive every year.
Right.
Speaking
of that guy who can play, think about this. He can do Bill Murray, Sylvester Stallone, and he can do Richard Gere. I mean, think about those. Think about those kind of guys he could play. Where is Mr. Andy Carl?
Andy! That's your cue. You missed your entrance.
I want to see him.
He's coming.
See him.
But this is why he has an Olivier and 75 Tony nominations, and because he's an actor. He's an actor's actor.
He is. He's very talented.
For the past 6 months, I haven't been.
Well, neither has anyone else.
Well, let's talk about those glasses. Let's talk about those glasses, please, Andy Carl.
Oh, here. Hold on. We're going to have to share a headphone. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Hold on. Talk.
I can do this.
Much better.
Oh.
Much better. Okay.
There he is.
And my hair looks much better this way. Okay.
Andy, let's talk about those glasses. I'm into it.
Yeah, this is my second pair. I I think I saw too many Ryan Reynolds pictures and commercials. I decided to get a pair of the Ryan Reynolds style glasses.
Why not? Why not? I'm into it. So you guys have been married for quite a long time now. How long?
It will be 20 years in January.
Oh my God!
20 years!
That's crazy. And didn't you get married in Miami, or you were
married in Miami?
Yeah. Okay.
Almost 20 years ago.
That's crazy. So is there anything, but you've seen a lot of each other for the last 5 or 6 months.
Lately, we have seen a lot of each other.
Yeah.
But, there were times we didn't see each other for a very long time. So I would say we didn't see each other when he was doing Groundhog Day in London longer than we have seen each other this particular phase in time.
Got it.
So it balances it out a little bit.
Yeah, we're putting in
So when you've been with someone for like 20 years, are there still things to find out about each other when you're stuck together in a house during a pandemic?
Talk about revealing. I mean, look, it's more like, now we also have worked together so often that we have had the opportunity to be around each other 24/7 and work together and sort of like manage our actual lives outside of, work. So it's not really all that crazy. After just getting done with Pretty Woman, we were both working together and going home and, taking care of our dogs and doing this basically. So now we're just trying to, find stuff to do. And, we're finding a lot of like fun things to do, including Live at 5, which is always good to see you, Paul.
Damn Skippy.
Thank you for being here. That was a good promotion. I like that.
True.
So do you have certain like routines? Like I find that it's very good for me to sort of like keep a routine and like to sort of like honor certain routines to sort of keep me sane when there's not so much structure. Do you guys, what's that like? Do you have anything like that? Or
he does the walks, I do the runs. We both work out at some point in the day. I'm not too scheduled about how I like work out because it's sort of dependent upon how much I want to sleep now. I'm catching up on a lot of sleep that I've missed for a few years.
Are you really? Are you very well rested?
Yeah, I feel good now. I'm ready to get back to work.
I think that look, the things that we would do as when things aren't like this insane, unprecedented that exists. There were things we always would do that was a part of the routine of what was fun for us, going to the movies, going to dinner, doing that sort of thing we can't do. So we kind of flip it around and do other things now that's become a routine or normal for this phase. We've been writing a lot, which, to be confined in a small space with someone creative and you can't put on a musical. I mean, you could, but I'm not really sure that the neighbors would appreciate that. But like we've been, holed up together writing because throughout the years, we've always been like, someone should write this, or someone should write a story about this, or someone should write a series about this, or someone should do a pilot about this. And so finally it was like, well, why don't we do that? So who knew? I mean, Andy's a much, much more profoundly gifted writer than I am, but I'm a good pitch person. I'm a good write this and make this character. This person should do this. So it's been a great collaboration. And if they're not going to hire us for it, we're going to write it and put ourselves in it.
Yeah, I mean, we're writing, and I've been doing some recordings remotely with some of my good friends in the theater world, which is kind of fun. Cool. It's actually great. So to get some demos together to sort of when everything comes back or when people are ready to listen, it's like, here's a great idea, and I've recorded some stuff. So here, it's fun finding those creative ways like we're doing now at Live at 5 with Paul Wontorek.
Which is a very creative outlet.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you plugging that all the time.
We can plug all. We can plug all.
There's been a lot of. I feel like the first thing Broadway people did when quarantine started was they all did cast reunions. I just feel like every cast ever. But where's my Fascinating Rhythm cast reunion?
If you could make that happen, I'd be down, and I'm pretty sure everybody else would be down for that reunion.
Wait a minute. Who's that guy on the left behind you? Is that Patrick Wilson?
Patrick Wilson, Karen Lifshay, Jill, Michael Barrett, and Sada is right behind my head.
Sara Ramirez. Yeah, that and you did like a Legally Blonde. You did a Legally Blonde thing, didn't you?
We did a Legally Blonde thing pretty early on in Pandemania, as I like to refer to it.
I like it.
So that was awesome. That was awesome. Andy did a big Jersey Boys reunion. Yes.
Oh, right. And then Altar Boys.
We did Altar Boys. It's it's funny because like the good ones are the ones that have sort of a somebody's in control of hosting. The crazy ones are like when all 50 people, 25 people appear on a Zoom and everybody
we've done that too.
Talks over and you don't know whether to, and then somebody says something really like, morbid or something really very personal. And you're like, I don't know how to respond to that. So I think it's like Zooms should have a
moderator, yes,
and a question and answer. Usually, I find it that way. Otherwise, it can go south real quick.
Yeah, it's interesting. Certain people's personalities like just take over naturally, and they become like hosts on Zoom. Zoom politics is a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. Do you guys watch a lot of like TV shows, or are you like?
We've been going through a lot of like the serial doc dramas on Netflix. That's really, really, really interesting.
Like what? Do you have one you can mention?
We just watched Dark Tourists, or a couple of episodes of Dark Tourist, which is really interesting, like macabre, sort of like, this guy is he loves to tour the world and see these places like, Pablo Escobar tour and go,
and there's reenactors that become Pablo Escobar, and his number one hitman is now a tour guide.
Yeah, and like De Los Muertos stuff.
Yes, De Los Muertos stuff. It's fantastic.
Then go to Japan to all the radioactive areas that nobody's supposed to go to. It's really interesting.
It's really cool. But, that was cool. I mean, listen, it's Shark Week, so that takes up a lot of. I'm obsessed with sharks. So once Shark Week is like, don't anybody speak to me. I'm watching Shark Week. But you revisit all old classics. You see like again on Netflix like Real Exorcisms, because I'm obsessed. So you just kind of, I know it was Tiger King was the rage back again in the early Pandemania days, but we find things on Netflix that we're like we would have never had time to watch and really get involved with. So
what are you watching?
Yeah, anything? What are you watching?
I've gone into a $1 million listing / selling Sunset. I've gone into that and then I went into Shaws of Sunset.
Good luck with that.
We're up to date on those.
We're very up to date on those. Yeah.
But I'm also very up to date on whatever's hot on Netflix or so. I watch a lot.
Netflix is the place to be, and HBO, like all now is a good time to watch really dark, edgy programming because it takes you out of the funk of the reality of how dark and awful things are.
We're all going to be so weird when we come out of this.
We were already weird, but it is kind of a good thing to start to see like a lot of horror, reality horror, fake horror, because then you suddenly can make this. It's not so bad.
Right. I like your hair, Orfeh. I like it long like that. You're going to keep it going?
Well, I've cut it a few times myself. I kind of just grab it and do that so that the ends kind of don't die and fall because it's so bleached out from the sun that like it just gets blonder every second of the day. I'm really legally blonde now. But occasionally when it just gets too scraggly, I do that and I do that. And then I have Andrew do the back. So
got it.
Lots of, hair care. From the hair affair. So.
Oh my God. Let's bring Caitlin in quickly and take a few quick fan questions. It just kind of ends abruptly.
That was fun. Okay, let's do some fan questions. Okay, Catherine Belando wants to know, what was the first show you saw on Broadway and how old were you?
The first show I saw on Broadway, I was 6 months old. I was in a no. But the first show I saw on Broadway, I might have been 7, maybe somewhere in that. I don't know what internet age I have now, so I don't really know to do the math. But because there's 50 of them. But I saw Annie with the original cast on Broadway. That was the first Broadway show I saw. And I didn't see another Broadway show for many years after that. But that I remember because somebody who lived in my building, a nephew or a niece or something, had a best friend in the ensemble of Annie. So we got free tickets and got to go to see Annie.
And who knew you'd be working with Bill Berloni after?
And that I'd know Andrea McArdle all these years later.
Goodness.
Strange.
Andy, what's yours?
Oh, my first Broadway show? We did high school tours from Baltimore. Phantom of the Opera, hon. I saw Phantom of the Opera. It was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I saw Chandelier coming down. I was like, I got to do that for my life. And the next one was the next year was Into the Woods original company. So that was that was cool. That was good, twisted, wonderful, amazing Stephen Sondheim stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More questions?
Yes. So Kenzie says, Orfeh, you always have the best costumes on Broadway. Do you have one outfit that you remember the most or is a favorite?
Hi, Kenzie. I know Kenzie. And she'll love that I said hi and that I know her. I really, again, no one got to see this, but the costumes that I got to wear for the Janis Joplin musical were so spot on. Thread for thread, bead for bead, ring for ring.
Wow.
The feathers, it was the most transformed I've ever been as far as like just fun, amazing costumes. Anything that I've worn that Greg Barnes has, designed for me, I love. And
he did you right.
He did me right. He always
Pretty
does
Woman
really
and
good justice.
Great.
Yeah. So I loved everything I wore in Legally Blonde. I loved everything I wore in Pretty Woman. I especially loved the 50 pounds of leather that I wore when I came out for Welcome to Hollywood. That was one of my favorite. I love that costume.
And let's also talk about the wig work in Love Janis. There was some major wig in Love Janis. The wig, remember that wig?
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Of course. It was
and the crimp wig, and the crimp wig,
and my crimp. That's Marquette and Victoria Tinson did me a solid there too. So
I love it.
I would say Pippi in Trailer Park, but I didn't wear much.
Oh no, she was a stripper.
She was a stripper from the wrong side of the tracks.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. This is for both of you. Manny on Twitter wants to know, Orfeh, what role of Andy's would you like to do if you could? And what role of Orfeh's would you like to do if you could?
Oh.
Manny, that's a fierce question, Manny. Mm-hmm. Points for you. You first.
Yeah, I mean, your stuff is fun. I would say, oh man, come on. I would love to say Cinderella just once. That was a lot of fun. I like all your roles. Your roles are hilarious and
well, Andy, you're kind of an Orfeh fanboy.
Yeah,
I mean, who isn't? Who isn't?
You'd be surprised.
I saw her in Saturday Night Fever. This first time I saw her, and I was like, I will never get that image out of my brain. Like, I was such a fan.
And you never had to see. They say, "Careful what you wish for."
I know exactly. She sings in my living room, folks.
I would like to say I loved every role. I mean, Andy's the best actor, singer, performer I've ever known. And I don't say that because I'm married to him. I say it because it's true. But I would love to tackle the role of Phil Connors.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you why. I don't think a human being on this earth other than Andy could have done that role. So I would like to see if I could get through it. Honestly, I would like to see if I could do all those costume changes flawlessly. His not even a finger, he could do brain surgery. That's how steady his hands were. The dancing, the changing, the singing, the being lifted, hoisted, all that. If I could get through Phil Connors and Groundhog Day once, I would then think really highly of myself. And he's too humble for his own good. But if I could get through that, then I would think that I was like the shiz.
I have a weird case of OCD from that show. Every little piece of costume that had to be preset before every day that switched around. I was like, where are my pills? Where's my thing? Where's my snowballs? Why aren't they here? What's going on? Where's it? And so it was like
once.
I drove my dresser crazy.
And Orfeh, we won't make you do it with an injury like he had to on opening night. That'll be
horrible.
We'll say the injury. Don't recommend the injury. But what were you back 2 days later? You finished the show and then you came
2
back.
days later, a couple months later, I had no knee brace.
No thanks to my kindness at home. Get your ass back on that stage.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now I can't help but think of Andy playing Pip, a stripper who lap dances Schuler Hensley in the trailer park. I think that would be good too. That could be good. That's a whole.
I'd go that way for Schuler. Come on.
Schuler is second only to Andy Karl as my favorite co-star of all time. Again, I should say The Great American Trailer Park, that was all my favorite co-stars, and I have a lot of favorite co-stars.
Well, Schuler Hensley is known for, he obviously won a Tony for a very dark performance in Oklahoma, but he's like the biggest goof, right? Like he's he's so silly. Yeah.
Ask Leslie Kritzer or Mariah Grande or Linda Hart about him. He is a joy and a pleasure to be around. And there were a lot of joys and pleasures in Legally Blonde, Saturday Night Fever. I love a lot of my ex-cast members. I married one. I loved him so much.
Oh, Orfeh and Andy, it was so nice to see you. Hey, Beth's still there. Let's bring Beth in.
Your hands, slap your hands.
That's fascinating.
Probably 32 times.
Oh my God,
I just want to say, I want to see Orfeh play Rocky, and I want to see Andy bend and snap. That's all.
Oh, yes. Actually, there's something there because all of their roles would be really interesting. Like
so good. Any of them would be
dope. Rocky would be dope.
That'd be hilarious.
Right? It'd be like
Andy could rock the Love Janice wig also.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
And scream. Just be like, the demons I purged doing that show. I always say I will never need therapy because of the 6 or 7 months I got to spend in that show.
Yeah, like you said, that's one of the roles that it's like I saw her do it 8 times, and it's like nobody but Janice could have done it.
I think she was there.
Yeah.
I think she was there.
You guys are both fantastic. I'm glad you're doing well. I can't wait to see you back somewhere, sometime, doing something. I don't know.
Maybe playing the Mandarin Duck. You never know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Everyone, we are back on September 8th. We're taking a few weeks off. And that's why we had to have.
So we'll see you September 8th.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I like that.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you for having us. It was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Caitlin, will you please take us out?
Gladly. Yes, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today for a very fun episode of Live at 5 Home Edition. You can listen to us where we get your podcast by searching for hashtag Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Like Paul said, we are taking a little bit of a hiatus, but we will be back in September. So we will see you then. Stay safe, wear your mask, and stay 6 feet away from each other. We'll see you later.